Problem 14.7.48, and we are working with a relationship between engine size of sedans, which is our x or independent variable, and miles per gallon, that is our y or dependent variable. And so with this one, we're just going to do a simple linear regression with the data that's provided. And you'll see here that all the data is in the table. I've already manually loaded it into Excel. And I went ahead and just to save time, went ahead and generated the output for the linear regression. But I want to show you how to do this in both the data analysis toolpack as well as XLStat, and then more importantly, get to parts C and D where we're constructing some confidence and prediction intervals. Confidence and prediction intervals aren't something that we can typically do with the simple regression program in the data analysis toolpack. We really want to use XLStat for that, which is easy and efficient to do, and certainly a lot better than working with the manual formulas in the textbook. So we don't need to mess with the messy formulas. We can just get all of our output through Excel and the XLStat application in particular. So I ran, first of all, just a simple linear regression in the data analysis toolbox. So you can see that this is just like we've done before in other problems. And the question asks for the R squared, asks for the null and alternative hypotheses, asks for the F-stat and the p-value. Those are all just generated very quickly and easily through the data analysis toolpack. But when it comes down to working with the confidence interval and the prediction interval, we need something a little bit more powerful to generate that information for us, and that's where XLStat will come into play. So remember, the difference is that with a confidence interval, we're working with really the average value. We're trying to estimate a confidence interval for an average of the y variable, or miles per gallon, whereas the prediction interval, we are working with an individual value or engine size to generate a prediction interval for the y variable, which is our miles per gallon. So that's the difference between the two. With XLStat, it gets a little bit particular in that it wants to use a cell reference when we are generating these intervals. So this particular question asks for a 2.9 figure cubic liter engine size. So I just have that typed in here manually into the spreadsheet, and then we'll reference this particular cell when it comes time to generating the output for the intervals. So if I go to XLStat, again, I've already done this, so linear regression, I just want to show you the box, and I'll show you the output. So here we have the y variable selected. We have our data range for the x variable here, which would be engine size, and we have the output going to a separate sheet. So far everything is normal. If I jump over to output, still using the analysis of variance output, I don't have any chart selected. I've got options here. I've got our confidence interval at 95%. And so the only thing that's different from what we've done so far is if we go into the prediction menu, here is where we'll reference the in particular engine size that we're using for this problem. So you can see here, right towards the bottom of the video, you can see how the cell is lit up. That's what has been used as the reference for the cell. So if I were to enter, instead of a cell reference, if I just enter 2.9 or whatever numerical figure that we need for our problem, we're going to get an error message with XLStat. So we need to have a cell reference for that. And I'll cancel out of it now, but you'll see from the output that I've already generated that we have the same exact figures that we got from the data analysis toolpack. We have our R squared up here. I've highlighted the solutions. We've got our F statistic, and we have our p-value. And then down below in the table for predictions for the new observation, this is the particular observation that we're working with, the 2.9 figure. So we have our confidence interval here, our lower bound and upper bound, and then here we have our prediction interval, the lower and upper bound as well. So again, very simple to get the information you need from XLStat as opposed to working with the formulas in the textbook, which would be chapter 14, section 4 primarily for those formulas.